One of the things that people may not know is that we have staff on call 24/7. There's always some type of emergency that's going on, and sometimes there's a big emergency. So we've responded to earthquakes, storms, power outages, wildfires, treatment upsets. We have people that respond to fire. So whenever there's a 2-alarm higher fire, we have to send an inspector out to the city. My name is Andrew DeGraca. I'm the Water Quality Division Director for the San Francisco Public Utilities Commission. In San Francisco, we're unique. We have 2 different water systems. We have the potable water system and we have the firefighting system. The firefighting system is not potable water, so we have to send out an inspector to make sure that when the fire department is doing its job, that they don't interconnect the 2 systems. Our laboratory operations is 7 days a week, 24 hours. There's stuff in incubators that are being processed all the time. Treatment plants are running all the time, right? So we're serving water 24/7. As a utility, our basic function is to provide high quality water with adequate pressure and adequate flow. So our responsibility primarily lies in the high quality aspect. We have a lot of the regulatory compliance responsibilities, so we're here to ensure that we're meeting all the different regulatory requirements that are out there. We collect samples from throughout the system. We analyze it at our laboratory. We have engineers review the data and produce regulatory reports. We also deal with customers when there's complaints. So if somebody has a problem with the quality of the water, they'll give us a call or contact us through 311, and we'll send out an inspector and do the appropriate follow-up. We have about 150 employees. We have snowfall to outfall responsibilities. So we have staff who have a moccasin at the treatment plants in the regional area, Sunol Valley Water Treatment Plant, Harry Tracy Water Treatment Plant. We have staff at our Rollins Road facility, Millville Yard, CDD Yard, the Southeast Water Pollution Control Plant, the Oceanside Water Pollution Control Plant, and other facilities within the PUC area. We have 5 sections. We have a business services section, a capital improvement program coordination section, an engineering section, an environmental and field services section, and a laboratory section. We have people that go out and collect samples, we have people that analyze the samples, we have people that look at the samples. We also have people that look at the treatment operations, so we have process engineers. So we try to make sure that the treatment process is optimized. If there's any sort of problems or upset, we'll do research. We have pilot facilities, so they parallel the treatment plant, so it's kind of a small scale little operation where we can test the water, try different treatments on the water that's coming into the plant. And so if we need to make optimization changes, we can use the data from the pilot plant and then do changes within the treatment plant to make sure that the quality remains high. Since the 1996 Safe Drinking Water Act amendments, there has been no real regulatory changes. And so we've had a 2-decade period of quiet in terms of regulatory changes. That is changing, both at the federal government level and the state level, particularly the state level. So I expect that there's going to be way more regulations and they're going to come at us faster and quicker than before. And so one of our challenges is going to be is to look at the regulations as they're being developed and try to make sure that there's not major problems with them. We can get involved in the regulatory process and say that's going to cost a fortune for very little benefit. And so to try to stay on top of all that stuff to make sure that there's not a bunch of new regulations that's going to cost lots of money to put in new treatment facilities are not competing with, say, replacing pipes. So if it's going to be a new regulation, try to make sure that our customers are going to get a real benefit. I think my favorite part of the job is the public health environmental protection aspect, having a wide range of things and also collaborating, just working to solve problems. So whether it's a problem that needs to be addressed and we have emergency types of problems that we have to jump onto things, and there's kind of the longer term ones like regulations where you kind of see it happening and you work on it. The other thing, which is even more rewarding, is to look at these issues before they become a problem and work with people so they don't become a problem. COVID-19 was obviously an emergency that we're currently dealing with. After the initial shelter in place, it was impossible to get hand sanitizers and disinfecting wipes. That was a time when people were very stressed. You had people that had to report to work. Again, we have to provide water. And so one of the things was, could we provide them the PPE and the things to make it safer for them? And so one of the things that we did was that we decided to make hand sanitizer. Our lab director and our business services manager got together, bought all the equipment, and we made our own hand sanitizers and put them in little 4-ounce spray bottles and produced 1,500 of them to distribute to all the staff so that they could take it with them in the cars, as well as a spray disinfectant so that you can basically spray on the doorknobs. And staff appreciated that because with the other things we were using, you had to wipe it down. So it took a lot of staff time to actually wipe it down. When you just had to go and spray on the surface, it was much faster and easier. And we're still producing both of those and they're still being used. One of the things we've blessed with is that we had people generations ago that went and picked great, excellent sources of bottled water. Hetch Hetchy is extremely unique. Unfiltered supply, one of only 5 in the country where you don't have to provide any sort of filtration. So we have that, and we have the local watersheds. As we start looking at alternative water supplies, they don't have the same quality. And so we're going to be facing new issues. So with source water protection, you don't have the contaminants in the water supply. When you start looking at alternative water supplies, there may be stuff in there. So whether it's groundwater or if we're going to use recycled water. So we have different considerations. We could treat this water, it's not a problem, but we're going to have to be able to treat it to get it up to the standards that our customers expect. So we'll be spending a lot of time over the next decade or so looking at these new sources and making sure that they're appropriate for our customers when we serve it to them.